They did not show up. On July 2, 2026, a Genesee County courtroom was waiting. A judge was waiting. The case of Casper O'Brien, a 7-year-old boy who died at 255 pounds, was formally before the court for the first time. And the 2 people charged with his murder were nowhere to be found. Not in the room. Not at the table. Not facing the judge. Their attorneys appeared in their place, with their presence formally waived. Think about what that means. Casper O'Brien spent every single day of his short life inside a house he could not leave. He was nonverbal. He was bedridden for 12 hours a day. He could not speak for himself in life. And the people charged with ending that life could not be bothered to appear in a courtroom and face what they are accused of doing. That is where this update begins. And it only gets heavier from here. If you are new to this channel, you found the right place. At Darkness of Beneath Crimes, we go deeper than every headline. We find what others leave behind. Subscribe right now and turn on your notifications. Because this case is far from over. And we are not going anywhere. Let us go back to the beginning. Quickly. Because to understand what just happened in that courtroom on July 2nd, you need to feel the full weight of what this case is. November 4th, 2025. A 911 call from a house on Dania Street in Flint Township, Michigan. A child was not breathing. A police officer responded to the family's home in Flint Township that morning after Jessica O'Brien called 911 to report that her son wasn't breathing. The officer observed extreme hoarding and deplorable living conditions, including no working toilet, filth, and soiled diapers in their living space. No working toilet. In a home where 2 children lived every single day. Casper, who weighed 255 pounds at the time of his death, was described as extremely obese, visibly dirty, and wearing a soiled diaper. The Genesee County Medical Examiner ruled Casper died from dilated cardiomyopathy, a disease that causes the heart chambers to thin and stretch, making it larger and harder to pump blood to the rest of the body. His heart was 7 years old. It had been carrying 255 pounds. It gave out. But here is the detail that reframes every single thing that came after it. The children did not go to school. The area school district, Child Protective Services, and police were all unaware of the children. Not one person in government whose job it is to protect children like Casper knew his name. Nobody knew he was alive. Nobody knew he was suffering. Nobody knew he existed, until the morning he stopped breathing. Casper last saw his primary care provider in February 2024, when he was diagnosed with a cough, congestion, and metabolic disease. At that visit, he weighed 104 pounds, and his mother was given information on a healthy diet and exercise. He was referred to a pediatric endocrinologist but never saw one. 104 pounds. February 2024. A specialist referral in hand. A mother given written guidance on her son's health. And then nothing. No specialist. No follow-up. No return visit. Between February 2024 and November 4, 2025, Casper gained 151 pounds. 151 pounds. With a referral that was never followed. And a pediatrician who never saw him again. And the reason his mother gave for not taking him to a doctor? She did not like waiting rooms. According to the criminal complaints, the parents failed to take Casper for treatment even though the family had health care. What is baffling in this case is that the father had a good job with good health insurance, yet Casper was only taken to the doctor once. In the last year and a half of his life, both parents managed their own health. Both attended their own appointments. Both received prescription medication for their own conditions. And their son, nonverbal, bedridden, gaining weight at a rate that defies medical explanation, had one visit to an urgent care clinic and was never seen again. The family dog was taken to the vet. As prosecutor David Layton stated publicly, they had called the veterinarian about one of their pets. They knew what to do for the dog, but they didn't do it for their own child. The dog got the call. Casper got nothing. Now let us talk about Casper's sister, because this case was never just about one child. His 5-year-old sister was also found naked, morbidly obese at 130 pounds, with poor hygiene and a significant cough, leading to the additional abuse charges against the couple. 5 years old, 130 pounds, found without clothing, in that same house. She was placed in foster care, according to the Genesee County Prosecutor's Office. She is alive. She has a chance now. Her brother did not get one. And there is one more detail about that house that tells you everything about how completely these children were sealed away from the world. The family was renting the house. The landlord was concerned because the house was falling into disrepair and the parents were not allowing him inside. They would leave the rent on the front porch. The rent appeared on the porch like clockwork, but the door never opened. The landlord could not get inside his own property. Nobody could. And behind that door, 2 children were living in conditions that 5 separate police officers said they could not describe in words. Damien O'Brien, 40, and Jessica O'Brien, 41, have each been charged with second-degree murder, torture, and 3 counts of second-degree child abuse. Torture. That word appears in those charges deliberately. If convicted, they could face up to life in prison. Genesee County Prosecutor David Layton said in a statement, "This was a sad and horrific case involving the wanton and willful neglect by 2 parents for the care, welfare, and medical needs of their son. 1. And willful. Not an accident. Not poverty. Not a family that had no options. A family that had health insurance. A family that had income. A family that made a $20 copay disappear for a dog's vet appointment but never once spent it on the child dying inside that house. 1. And willful." You are watching Darkness of Beneath Crimes. We are the channel that stays with the story long after every other channel moves on. If Casper O'Brien's name matters to you, subscribe right now. Hit the like button. Let the algorithm know this story needs to be seen. Because what just happened in that courtroom on July 2nd changed the shape of this case in ways that most people have not fully understood yet. And that is exactly what we are about to break down. July 2nd, 2026. Genesee County Courthouse. A probable cause hearing was scheduled for Damien and Jessica O'Brien, the parents of 7-year-old Casper O'Brien, who prosecutors say weighed 255 pounds when he died after years of alleged neglect, were not present for their court hearing. District Judge Mark McCabe noted that both Damien O'Brien and Jessica O'Brien had their presence waived at the Genesee County Courthouse. Their presence was waived. They were not there for a hearing about the death of their own son, the child they are accused of murdering. They chose not to appear. The probable cause hearing was ultimately postponed after the defense attorneys requested more time to review the discovery in the case. The father's attorney noted that there are more than 400 pages of medical records. 400 pages. That is what the prosecution has assembled. 400 pages of medical records documenting the condition of a 7-year-old boy whose parents say they had no idea how bad things had gotten. 400 pages that tell a story that those parents cannot unsee now that it is in front of them. Defense attorney Fainus told the court they need more time to review evidence. He stated, "We did just receive discovery from the people after having a meeting with them on Monday. There's a lot to go over. There are over 400 pages of medical records. We need a little bit more time." 400 pages. Let that number sit. Each one of those pages is a documented moment in Casper O'Brien's life where something was wrong and nothing was done about it. Each one of those pages is another detail that a prosecutor will stand up in front of a jury and read aloud. Each one of those pages is another reason why the defense needs more time. Because 400 pages is not easy to explain away. Both parents have pleaded not guilty. Not guilty. That is their position. The same position they held when they told police the sores on Casper's body had only been there a couple of days. The same position they held when that story changed to a month. The same position they held when his mother told investigators she had no idea the sores existed at all. 3 different answers. 1 dead child. And 400 pages of medical records waiting to tell the jury exactly what happened inside that house. Now here is the development that changes the next chapter of this case entirely. Neither appeared in court for the probable cause hearing in Genesee County, during which Chief Judge Mark McCabe ordered that they undergo competency and criminal responsibility evaluations. Competency evaluations. This is critical. And here is why. A competency evaluation is not a get-out-of-jail card. It does not mean the charges disappear. It does not mean the case slows down permanently. What it means is that before this case can move forward to trial, the court needs to determine 2 specific things. First, are Damien and Jessica O'Brien mentally competent to understand the charges against them and assist in their own defense? Second, and this is the one that carries the heavier weight, were they criminally responsible for their actions at the time of Casper's death? These are 2 completely separate questions, with 2 completely separate implications. During the hearing, counsel said there are approximately 400 pages of medical records regarding the case that need to be reviewed. The judge ordered that both parents undergo evaluations to see if they are fit to stand trial. Fit to stand trial. That phrase means something very specific in a Michigan courtroom. If the evaluators determine either parent is not competent to stand trial, the case does not move forward until they are restored to competency through treatment. If the evaluators determine they were not criminally responsible at the time of Casper's death, that is a different legal defense altogether. One that the prosecution will fight with every one of those 400 pages. The judge also denied a request from both attorneys for bond. Bond denied. Both of them, Damien O'Brien, 40, and Jessica O'Brien, 41, are sitting in Genesee County Jail tonight. They were there when they did not appear in court on July 2nd. They will be there when the case returns on September 9th. They are not going anywhere. The case is expected to be back in court in September, following the completion of the evaluation process. September 9th, 2026. That is the next date. That is when this case comes back before the court. That is when the results of those competency evaluations will begin to shape what happens next. Will this go to trial? Will the charges hold? Will the murder count stand? These are the questions that September 9th will begin to answer. And this channel will be here when it does. But before we get there, before we look forward to what happens next in a courtroom, let us go back to what this case has always actually been about. Not the legal strategy, not the competency evaluations, not the 400 pages of medical records, not the bond denial, not the attorneys standing in for parents who would not appear in court. This case has always been about one thing: a boy. A nonverbal 7-year-old boy who could not tell anyone he was in pain. who could not walk out of that house, who could not dial 911 for himself, who could not go to school and let a teacher see what was happening to his body, who spent his entire life invisible to every system that was supposed to protect him, and who gained 151 pounds between his last doctor visit and the day his heart stopped beating. Prosecutor Layton described it as a sad and horrific case involving the wanton and willful neglect by two parents for the care, welfare, and medical needs of their son, stating that their neglect led to their child suffering severe bed sores, various rashes, and other physical health disorders including extreme morbid obesity that ultimately led to his early death. Wanton and willful. Those two words are the prosecution's entire case. They will stand in front of a jury with 400 pages of medical records and they will prove that this was not an accident. They will show the jury the referral to a specialist that was never followed. They will show the jury the written dietary guidance that was never acted on. They will show the jury the health insurance card that was used for the parents and never used for Casper. They will show the jury the vet appointment that was made for the dog the same morning Casper went into cardiac arrest. And they will let the jury sit with all of it. Prosecutor Layton said, "It is a very, very sad and tragic situation." He noted that after 22 years as the prosecuting attorney, he thought he had seen it all, but had never seen anything quite like this. 22 years. A man who has spent 22 years prosecuting the worst crimes in Genesee County, Michigan. And Casper O'Brien's case stopped him. Here is where we stand right now. Damien and Jessica O'Brien have both been charged with second-degree murder, torture, and 3 counts of second-degree child abuse after their son, Casper O'Brien, died in November. District Judge Mark McCabe denied bond to the pair during the July 2nd hearing. Both are undergoing competency and criminal responsibility evaluations. The next court date is September 9, 2026. The father's attorney has noted there are more than 400 pages of medical records in this case. Both parents have pleaded not guilty, and Casper's 5-year-old sister is in foster care. She is being seen by doctors now, for the first time, by people who know her name. Casper O'Brien was 7 years old. He was 4 feet and 2 inches tall. He weighed 255 pounds. His BMI was 71.7 when the normal for a boy his age is 16. He died on November 4, 2025 in Flint Township, Michigan. He died of a heart that was pushed past everything it could bear. He never went to school. He never saw a specialist. He never had a voice. And in a Genesee County courtroom on July 2, 2026, the 2 people charged with his murder could not be bothered to show up and face what they are accused of doing to him. But we showed up, and we will keep showing up. On September 9th, when this case comes back before the court, we will be here with a full update. Every development, every detail, every truth that surfaces from those 400 pages. Because Casper O'Brien deserves someone who does not look away. His name was Casper. Say it in the comments below. Make sure it echoes further than that house on Dania Street, ever let it go. If this video reached you, if this story landed the way it should, then do 3 things right now. Like this video so the algorithm carries Casper's story to every person who needs to hear it. Share it with someone who does not know this case yet. And subscribe to Darkness of Beneath Crimes if you are not already part of this channel. We are not finished with this case. We are not finished with Casper. We will see you on September 9th.